Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 28th of June, ending Friday, the 3rd of July, 2020. Just FYI, Friday is a holiday here in the U.S. It's the observed version of 4th of July, which is next Saturday. So the banks and markets will be closed on Friday, so we will only have 4 days of calls this week. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart, and as you can see, we haven't done a lot lately. Bounced a little bit this week. Actually, if you count the whole 5 days, we just barely up. The week it was nothing. Very uneventful. Let's look at the daily charts of everything, and then we'll go through the intra-week action. So the euro dollar is the inverse of the dollar index. The pound slipped a little bit this week. The Aussie dollar flat, dead flat, very boring week. Euro yen also very flat. Pound yen also very flat, generally speaking. Pound Swiss dipped, but after several days of nothing going on, the New Zealand dollar pair was dead flat. So we didn't really see any action this week. Here's a look at the euro dollar index. High to low for the week is not even 200 pips. We went up Monday and Tuesday. We were coming back Wednesday. Thursday and Friday were a waste of time. If you look at the pound dollar, high to low for the week is just over 200 pips. Again, up Monday, maybe Tuesday, not much Wednesday. Dead flat Thursday, slipped a little bit Friday, and all of that within a less than 200 pip range, about 200 pip range. So it's not a very interesting week from that perspective, and really not a lot to look at or analyze. All right, let's take a look at the rest here. Here's the data coming out next week. Retail sales Sunday at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time. These are all Eastern Time. Italian bank holiday, so Italy's on holiday to start the week. German preliminary CPI flash, Spanish flash CPI, M4 money supply out of the UK, mortgage approvals out of the UK, net lending to individuals out of the UK, IPP and RMPI numbers out of Canada at 8:30 a.m. Monday morning. U.S. pending home sales, consumer confidence, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. Unemployment rate from Japan, preliminary industrial production out of Japan. China manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI numbers at 9 p.m. Eastern time Monday night. ANZ business confidence out of New Zealand, private sector credit out of Australia. So far this week, nothing major, right? Housing starts out of Japan, current account, and final GDP out of the UK. Nationwide HPI housing price index out of the UK. Revised business investment. Swiss retail sales, French consumer spending, French preliminary CPI flash estimate, core CPI flash estimate out of Europe, Italian preliminary CPI, Italian 10-year bond auction, GDP out of Canada at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Tuesday. Housing price index, the S&P housing price index here in the U.S. at 9 a.m. on Tuesday. Chicago PMI at 9:45. Consumer confidence at 10. Got a couple Fed members speaking. Fed Chair Powell testifies at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. AIG Manufacturing Index out of Australia, Building Consents out of New Zealand, BRC Shop Price Index out of the UK, Tankan manufacturing and non-manufacturing indices at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time out of Japan, final manufacturing PMI, building approvals, Caxton manufacturing PMI out of China. Going into Wednesday, consumer confidence out of Japan at 1, German retail sales at 2, commodity price index at 230, Spanish manufacturing PMI, then Swiss, Italy, France, Germany, broad European sector in the UK between there and 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 30-year bond auction out of Japan. Challenger job cuts here in the U.S. ADP non-farm employment change. Canadian bank holiday for Wednesday. Final manufacturing PMI here in the U.S. along with the ISM manufacturing PMI 15 minutes later. Construction spending. Ward's total vehicle sales, crude oil inventories, FOMC meeting minutes, monetary base, trade balance, 10-year bond auction, CPI, Spanish unemployment change, Italian monthly unemployment rate, PPI out of Europe, unemployment rate out of Europe, Spanish 10-year bond auction, French 10-year bond auction, Canada's trade balance number at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, the unemployment rate, and the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers here. By the way, the unemployment rate comes out on Thursday because we're closed on Friday. Trade balance also. So you've got two of our big three at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, plus the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers. That's a lot right there. Canada's manufacturing PMI, factory orders out of the U.S., natty gas out of the U.S., AIG construction index out of Australia, retail sales out of Australia, Caxton services PMI out of China, French government balance out of Europe, Spanish and Italian and French services PMI numbers, then the German, European, and UK ones, but we're closed here in the US. On Friday, charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.